Namaste, everyone. Justin Giddings here. So excited to be with you again as we go through 30 crowdfunding training videos in 30 days. If you've been following along, you know how smooth that is compared to how I started with it. But in any case, what I wanted to talk to you about today are some important milestones in your crowdfunding process. So once you've launched, what are the milestones that matter and what do you do with them when you get there? Like, how do you leverage those milestones? So I'm going to quickly list them. This won't be a super long recording, but I figured we'd go through this because I think it's helpful to sort of know, okay, I've got here, where's the next place that I need to go? So the very first milestone out of the gate is $1,000. You want to hit $1,000 right away. That just signals to people that this thing is alive and that people are giving money and that it's a real thing. Just having $1,000 on the board is kind of the first one. And frankly, if you've done, even if you're not a client of mine, if you've watched these videos or listened to the podcast and got some tips, this should not be hard, frankly. So, $1,000 on the board, but that's kind of almost less of a milestone, more like, hey, welcome to crowdfunding. You've begun. But it's still, so, you know, when you get, actually, I'll go back and I'll talk about what to do with these milestones when you get them. So, that's the first one. The next milestone is 30%. Now, you're going to hear a lot of people talk about how you have to have 30% of your funds secured before you launch. This is one of the things I really disagree with. In fact, I'll probably make a whole video about it, but the short version is that I don't really want to campaign. I didn't want to campaign before my campaign, and my clients don't want to campaign before they campaign. So I kind of subscribe to this whole cannonball effect. Let's just on day one, it's like the heavy kid at the pool party in high school. When he jumps in and does cannonball, the party hath begun. I was that guy at some point. So in any case, right? So don't worry about having it beforehand, but it is a significant milestone. 30% is a milestone. In fact, there are some statistics out there. I did some research for them and they kind of range, so I didn't feel like I had a good solid number to bring to the table. But basically, it's like if you hit 30%, you're probably going to hit your goal, is kind of the thing there. All right, so the next big milestone is $10,000. This, if you're raising anything over 10,000, 20, 30, 50, 100, 10,000 is a huge psychological milestone for your backers. See, everything about crowdfunding really comes down to momentum and perception, or the perception of momentum. People want to bet on a winning horse. They get excited when they feel like it's moving. Most of my clients, most films in general, don't ever get stretch goals. The ones that do are the ones that get funded really quickly. And then they'll raise 2 or 3 times the amount that they asked for. And it's not because, it's some amazing thing. It's that perception of momentum. People want to kind of be on board. So 10K is sort of the big, okay, this is legit. This is some big boy, big girl crowdfunding. You don't raise 5 figures without knowing what's up in some capacity. No one really stumbles into that number. So 10K is a big number. Obviously, if 10K becomes before 30%, then, 10K is sort of the first milestone and vice versa. But that's kind of the thing. Also, additionally, every 10K after that, if you're raising much more, like let's say you're raising 30 or 50, then 20K is another big milestone and it's worth celebrating, which I'll get into. Then the final ones are percentages, right? So 50% of your goal. That's, as you can imagine, a big percentage. I think at some point it's like 96% success rate if you hit 50%. Like once you get to that halfway point, it's downhill, right? Once you get over that hump. 80%. Now the reason 80% is the next milestone and so significant is a couple things. One is on seed&spark, that means you're greenlit. So seed&spark has this kind of hybrid model. It's all or nothing, kind of. It's still pledge based. So if you watch my video on like the different types, like you avoid some of the first money in issues that you might have with Indiegogo. But the creators, who are all filmmakers, thought, okay, look, most people, if they only got 80% of what their budget said, they could probably make it work. So that's kind of where the mindset came from. On the other platforms, it's still a significant percentage because if you are at 80% going into your final week, it's something like 99 point something percent that you're going to be successful. Like once you've gotten that far, that chunk, you've maybe heard of the 80-20 rule or the Pareto principle. Like that is a very significant milestone, not just on Seed and Spark where it unlocks your funds, but on Kickstarter and Indiegogo where it's like, again, the gap that needs to be filled really isn't that scary. Of course, the next big milestone is 100%. Because awesome and duh and amazing, and you want to get there as quickly as you possibly can. The moment you hit that goal, obviously by very definition, you've become this success, and now people are going to watch how you behave, how you interact with your backers, and so forth. So celebrate it, and I'll go back and talk about like what you can do with some of these milestones, and then finally stretch goals. Right, as you hit each stretch goal. Again, very rare for most of my artistic projects. It's just not in the nature for them to have stretch goals. You've told your audience, hey, if you give me 50K, I'm going to make something awesome. And you got 50K and your audience is like, okay, go make the thing. It's hard to kind of come back and go, well, could be awesome-er. That's what you have to do. That's kind of the nature of the game. But it can start to bring up questions of like, okay, so what if you ask for 50? Your stretch goal is 60. And you only get 55. Are we not getting an awesome film? What's going on, right? So, like I said, you usually hit like 100 to 105%, and that's kind of it. However, if you do hit a stretch goal, that becomes more momentum, and it's all about that perception. You want a potential backer to come to your campaign page and be like, all right, okay, wow, they're kicking butt. They're doing it. Sweet. All right, yeah, okay. There's just that energy, and then they see your pitch video, and they see your presentation and your perks, and they get excited. So what do you do when you hit each of these milestones? Well, it's probably kind of obvious, but I'll kind of go through it. Celebrate and gratitude. Again, if it's all about momentum and perception, that's what you want to be talking about. Oh my God, we hit $1,000 in the first 3 hours. Even if that's slow, like in my world, that's kind of slow. Usually my clients hit $1,000 in the first hour or something like that. So, if it was like, let's say it's the first day, right, to really hit this point home. Oh, we hit $100,000 in the first 24 hours. Your job is to make each of these milestones represent the fact that you know what's up, that you're on top of it, and that this project is rolling forward quickly. Additionally, feel free to do your own research and start connecting some of the statistics that are out there. Again, I'm in a teaching mode, so I really want to make sure that everything I've got is like 100% verified independently. That's a bit challenging sometimes in this space, but generally speaking, you'll find ranges of success rates that you can, again, leverage. Hey, we hit $10,000 or we hit 50%. That's so exciting because that means we have a 90% chance of hitting our goal. We are so grateful. Like I would couch everything, I guess is the final thing, couch everything in gratitude and thankfulness. I'm telling you, talk to like any group of backers or super backers. Like I think I've contributed like, I don't know, 100 Kickstarter campaigns or something like that. So I'm a Kickstarter super backer, and the conversations that people have, I'm actually watching one of these happen now on an old client's campaign where like there's not updates and there's not gratitude, and people are like complaining and trying to get refunds, and it's definitely the biggest complaint among super backers is like, yo, we threw down some cash and we didn't even get a thank you email, a thank you note, a thank you update through the system, right? So each time you hit that, think about momentum, gratitude, and keep pushing forward. So I'll go through them really quickly. Excuse me. $1,000, 30%, 10,000. And of course, each 10,000 after that, 50%, 80%, 100%, and stretch goals. Those are the milestones, and those should be treated as big old deals when they happen. Cool? All right. Hope this helps. Double hand salute. Peace out. See you guys later. Bye.